This is a once-in-a-cycle opportunity, friends. Bitcoin took the spotlight from October all the way through February, but the attention is beginning to shift towards Ethereum, and you need to be ready for what's coming. Okay, so to jump in with Ethereum, what is going on with Ethereum and why am I covering it? Well, the Denkin upgrade is coming, and even Goldman Sachs, who is very anti-crypto for the longest time, is basically saying it's a step towards the scale settlement layer. So settlements, similar to what Bitcoin is used for, Ethereum, a lot of people have been saying, it is also potentially going to be a settlement layer. And we all know that we need better gas fees, and layer 2s specifically need to be cheap and fast so that we can actually use it as a settlement layer. So basically what the Denkin upgrade is, what it says right here, is it uses rollups like the Optimism rollups, the ZK rollups, etc., and they're going to optimize gas fees and make the network security improved as well. So basically all good positive things. As we've seen in the EIPs before, these things make Ethereum more useful. And of course, if we're optimizing gas fees, that's mainly one of the biggest problems with Ethereum. But not only that, not only are we gonna have an upgrade of the network, we also have what we're hearing and what we have been hearing since January, that it's very likely we're going to see an SEC approval of the Ethereum ETF by May 23rd. Now we all know April 18th is going to be the halving for Bitcoin, so May 23rd is just over a month after that. And what does that basically mean? Well, I talked about it in another video on Twitter. You guys can go check that out as well. It's on YouTube, basically talking about what I think the ETF means for Ethereum. Well, we saw what the ETF has done specifically for Bitcoin, but something that I did mention, I'm just going to show you really quick right now, was that Ethereum used to be proof of work. So this website called ultrasound.money, you can go and check this out, but I want to show you something. Right now in the last 7 days, Ethereum has burned, it's reducing supply, 10,235 ETH as of update of 28 seconds ago. If we were still proof of work, we can go and turn that on, we would have 67,000 more Ethereum than if we didn't have the burning mechanisms there. So what basically this means is there's less and less Ethereum, and if we go to 30 days, that would have been 300,000 more Ethereum in the network. But if we look here, we've reduced the supply by 25,000. So what that basically tells me is it's deflationary, and it's been deflationary for quite some time. We go all the way back since the start of the merge, we're down 370,000 Ethereum versus had we stayed on the proof of work, we'd have 5,464,000 more Ethereum. So basically it's deflationary. Now, if there's not enough Bitcoin, with Bitcoin still being mined every day and inflation going into the supply, what do you think happens with Ethereum? Well, it's very simple. Ethereum will start to moon. There's a supply and demand there, which will increase demand immensely, and we won't have more Ethereum. So they're gonna have to go buy that OTC over the counter, which means basically going to other people that want to sell their Ethereum peer-to-peer, or they're gonna have to go on the exchange and physically buy the Ethereum off the exchange. Now we already know there's only 2 million Bitcoin left on exchanges for people to buy, period. So supply crunches will happen on both chains this cycle. So this is huge. Ethereum's gonna absolutely freaking moon, and everyone needs Ethereum to be able to do stuff on their L2s. So the EVMs, all this stuff is basically using the infrastructure of layer 1 ETH. This is massive for our industry. So as you saw, like BlackRock, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, all these biggest Vanguard, etc., are all now involved in the Bitcoin ETF. Now, they're obviously making a hell of a lot of money, but if you actually look online, you can go and find that, well, what's the reality here? That they are also applying for the ETFs for Ethereum. BlackRock's ETF will be due in August, but likely they're gonna be the first ones are gonna be approved in May. So by May to August, we're gonna see a huge shift in Ethereum. So if you think that you're too late with 3,100, you have people like in Dubai and Saudi, these massive sovereign funds. You have people that are just starting to discover Ethereum because of the Bitcoin ETF. There is large money. It's not just Saudi money, Dubai money, it's US money, it's Australian money, it's New Zealand money from massive funds, massive players in the space. But not only that, you're talking Web 2 funds coming into Web 3. You're talking about trillion-dollar asset managers looking for the next big play. So this is why I'm talking about Ethereum today. It is the next big play. And if we watch the charts, you'll see that we already hit 31. I talked about this way back, said maybe 28 would stop, but likely we're going to 31. That was like just a week and a half ago. And now we're at 31. People said to me, Coach, it's too late. I'm going to show you guys some targets on Ethereum where I think we are in the cycle right now, just to give you some perspective perspective of why I think that's not true, and actually why Ethereum could definitely start challenging the market cap of Bitcoin by the end of the cycle. So in the intro video, I talked about how from all the way back in October till February, it was Bitcoin's part of the cycle. Now, I don't think that Bitcoin's part of the cycle is over yet, but I do see some type of flipping into Ethereum Bitcoin, because I think that many big players are looking at this as the next big play, especially big money play, not small money play, not make 100x on $1 million, but we're talking multi-billions, potentially trillions of dollars flowing into these two assets. So why is Ethereum going to do well? Simple as this, it's at the time in the cycle where it does that, okay? Last cycle, we saw similar things where, it started to gain against Bitcoin. Last cycle, you can see from back in October, March, etc., it started to gain against BTC, staggered, and then started to dropped in May 2022, dropped again around that same level just recently in January as Bitcoin started to moon. But what are we seeing now? This key level, which I had an arrow on right there, right around 0.06 Ethereum per BTC, is starting to get challenged. Now, if we rip through that, it's very likely we're going to go all the way back up to 0.08 Ethereum for 1 BTC, meaning that Ethereum is starting to gain against Bitcoin, right? And also we can look at Ethereum on the chart. It's absolutely ripping, and it's gone up all the way since its low around $870, about 250%. Well, Bitcoin recently has gone up from the bottom around the same amount, to be honest. We see that it was down at 16, coming up, it's at 250%. Now remember, Ethereum has like 1/5 or 1/4 of the market cap of all of Bitcoin. So if the money flows in, Ethereum potentially has a higher upside than Bitcoin, especially because Ethereum does not yet have an ETF, and as I said, is deflationary, not inflating by 25,000 Bitcoin a week. It's actually reducing week by week. Let's just go have a quick look at exactly how much it reduces per week. As you can see, Ethereum is losing 10,000 ETH per week, while Bitcoin still currently until the halving is about double that, in the increase per week, it's about 25,000. So some basic economics you guys can understand. Supply demand, if the demand goes up for ETH and the supply keeps reducing, the value of ETH will increase. Simple as that, basic math. And because you basically have layer 2s and Ethereum, and people still use ETH and still use layer 2s, and it's basically the backbone of the whole entire ecosystem. So you can clearly see there's going to be a lot of demand for Ethereum, and put 2 and 2 together, anyone knows what would basically be coming next. As you can see, we just broke out on the weekly chart, the cloud. We have a very bullish Ethereum chart on the weekly, on the 3-day, on the daily, etc. Now, I talked about 3,100 being that next key level, which we already hit, and now we have to break through to go higher. But it's also that the Kumo broke out, so we could retest that 2,900 level. So that's the opposite side of the coin here, is that we could come back down, retest that level, give you another opportunity to enter into the trade, which would be a Kumo breakout retest, which we retest the top of the cloud, and then we start to go towards upper levels. Now, where are our next levels for Ethereum? Well, we have 2. We have one around 3,550, which is clear here. I'll show you it on the daily as well and zoom in. And then we have another level around 3,920. Now, let me go on the daily chart. It might be a little bit harder to see, so I'm just going to go way back here and just blow this chart up for you so you can see the key levels that I'm talking about. So as you can see, this is a clear SR level at 3,100. That's why I was talking about it. But when we look at the chart here at 3,550, you can see that this has acted as resistance many times in the past. So that's where I think we would likely come to next. And then after that, there's not really much resistance all the way up to almost 3,930. So we have that 2 zones, and then above that, it's very, very small amounts of resistance before we break all-time high. And now let me jump on my future predictions for Ethereum. I'm going to give you the good side, then I'll give you the bad side, okay? So the good side is I was using my fib retracement tool, as you guys know. We use the fib retrace. We go from the bottom of the chart to the top chart, bring it back down. It gives us the 1,618, the 2,618, 3,618, the 4,618. So I just marked those levels off. And I was talking about this, that ETH could go to $15,000 to $20,000. So the levels actually from a Fibonacci level would be right now that we'd go to 67, 9,000, 11,270, and $15,735. Those are the levels that we're looking at. So that's the upside of Ethereum. Now, in the short term, could we come back down? Yes, and here's great opportunities to buy, because we could have a Kijun bounce trade. I've talked about this many times. Our Chiku span, our lagging span, is obviously bullish, way above the candlesticks. Our Tenkin, our green level, is way above our Kijun, and we have this clear line of support right around the Kijun is. So if we were to pull back, a great opportunity to buy in would be somewhere around this level, our previous level at 26.5. So looking there could be a first level of really, really strong support, but it could also just come down somewhere in between this 21 EMA and the Chiku span, which is around that 28. And let me just go back to that weekly chart to show you that would be the retest level of our top of our Kumo, which when we have a Kumo breakout trade, which is another trade, but on a different time frame for Ethereum, we have a bullish Chiku span, a Tenkan above our Kijin, and a breakout of the Kumo top. So we could see this come down, retest that 28 level, and then go towards 35.5 and 39.2. So that's the levels that Ethereum have right now. That's the good and the bad, and really it's the good and the good, because both of those would be very, very healthy, and they're both two different, completely different trades that would be playing out on different time frames, which is extremely bullish. But not only is Ethereum the thing that we should be focusing on, but what is built on Ethereum? What are all the layer 2s going to do? What are all the DeFi protocols, which we started seeing kind of take off recently, going to do? And how is this going to affect Ethereum and its whole entire ecosystem? Well, with all these things being built on it, we need to start focusing a little bit on that. So in our next videos, we're going to be covering a couple different things, like my favorite layer 2s, my favorite DeFi protocols, the things that I think have a huge upside with the lowest amount of risk, so you can go and make some great opportunities. But not only that, soon I'm going to be releasing a video on a bunch of my degenerate plays that you should be absolutely focusing on. I've talked about a few of them, but there's some new ones that I have not yet talked about, and I want to share with everybody so that you guys can start winning on a macro scale from many different areas of this ecosystem. So don't forget, subscribe to this channel. Don't miss out on all these opportunities. We've been making 3 to 4 to 5x trades constantly in my ecosystem of friends and family and community. I don't want you guys to miss out. So make sure that you're getting in on this, and I'll see you guys next time.